Yes, this is a different method of trying to get my reflection onto the YouTube channel. I'm streaming directly, so I'm live. If you happen to be checking out the YouTube channel right now, you'll see me. This coming tomorrow, Sunday's lectionary, that's a wonderful story of King David's demise, or his passing away, and Solomon beginning. And that's what I'll be preaching on tomorrow. But the other piece that comes with it is Jesus speaking about transitions in his life as well. Let me think about that for a minute. No, I think I want to talk a little bit about the Solomon story. A piece of it that I won't go into too much tomorrow, although I can't promise I won't be repeating. First of all, there's a really important aspect of this story. This is a big time of transition in the kingdom of Israel. Between the initial kingdom of David and his kingship that was like a warrior king, as he battled back the enemies of Israel to establish the kingdom and get everything settled. To the time of Solomon, where it was more of a trading kingdom, thriving between two large empires. Solomon managed to make the kingdom of Israel the wealthiest it had ever been, and ever was, really. So the piece I'd like to sort of lift up in the midst of that is that aspect of the transition. All the ways we have been doing things isn't necessarily all the way we need to be doing things. We're moving through this pandemic into a new world. We're moving through the realization of the impact of climate change on our lives, with the fires and the heat domes and everything else, into a new way of living. We have to, for the survival of the earth and for our own well-being and the well-being of those who come after us. We have to change the way we're doing things. So David was a warrior king. And Solomon was consolidating the power of the kingdom after all that, and establishing its place, the kingdoms of Israel's place in the greater region, and creating a lot of trade, a lot of activities. Excuse me for the cough. One of the transitions we're dealing with is transition that's as the smoke is a symbolic of the crisis we're dealing with, and smoke's bothering me. So Solomon, although not throwing out all the traditions, changes up the way it is mean to be a king. And in our world, and how we're dealing with this world, we have to change up the way we're doing things. The UN report that just came out this week suggested that our only hope now is to reduce the amount of fossil fuels we're using by 50% over the next 7 years. That's huge. I wonder what you could do. I wonder what I could do to make that shift. How could we do our part? We need to do this, consider this for our own spiritual well-being, our own physical well-being, and the well-being of the earth. And for the integrity we can have living our lives as we pass on this inheritance of this world to the future generations. This is not small. This is huge. And it should be the primary conversation we're having. The province is burning. There's things like heat domes that I didn't even know about until this past June. And so many other things. This has to be our priority, the priority of our government, the priority of our lives, the priority of our community, our city, and frankly of our church too. We are in trouble. We can turn to God now, confessing our part of this and the harm of the earth, and seek wisdom like Solomon did to how to change things, how to shift things, how to make a difference. So that's what I'll be talking about tomorrow a little bit more. But meanwhile, this idea of understanding that there's a shift, a transition, and we need to change from the way we were doing things to something new and different, just as Solomon changed from the way his father ran the empire, the kingdom. So I'll keep this short because I'm actually testing the streaming business and I'm coughing and hacking. But friends, thank you for listening, and God be with you and bless you and watch over you and give you the wisdom you need to know how you can do your part. Amen.